Good morning, guys. Welcome to our new lesson, percentage. So today our lesson is going to be percentage. We are going to talk about percentage and we are going to learn everything about percentage. So let's start. So let's first understand what does it mean percentage. Percent is from the Latin adverbial phrase percentum, meaning by the hundred. Or we can make it easier to understand if we made it a fraction with a denominator 100. So it's something over 100. So it's going to be the numerator percent. Okay, so let's have examples to make it more clear. So 50%. 50% is just as a fraction, its denominator is 100, so it's 50 over 100. So this is the numerator is 50 and the denominator is always 100 in percent. Okay, so if you just simplify that fraction, it's gonna be half. So half equals to 50%. Okay, let's have another example. 25%, it's equals to 25 over 100. So if you simplify that, it's gonna be 1 over 4. So you see, it's always the numerator, the denominator is 100 and the numerator is the number before the percentage sign. Okay, let's have another example. 75%. Tell me, what do you think about it? Yes, it's gonna be 75 over 100, and after that you simplify. If you divide up and down by 25, it's gonna be 3 over 4. Okay, let's have some different examples. So for example, if I want to change 1 over 10 into percentage, so it's the vice versa, like I'm just get getting to have to think in the opposite direction. So right now I need to make this fraction is equivalent to something over 100. So if I add 0 down and up, it's going to be 10 over 100. So if I want to change it into percentage, I will take this numerator and put the percent sign next to it. So it's going to be 10%. Okay, another one. 3 over 10. So again, it's the same idea. I need to make the denominator is 100, so I'm adding 0 down and up. So it's going to be 30 over 100, which equals to 30%. Okay, another one. 70 over 100. Here, the denominator is already 100, so the numerator percent. So it's going to be 70%. Okay, another one, last one here in this type. It's 8 over 100. I need to change it into percentage. So first you have to make the denominator 100, and it's already 100. So I'm taking the numerator, so I'm writing down 8 and then percent. Okay, let's go for another types of examples. Here, 0.5, I need to change this decimal into percentage. So as we know here that percent, it's just over 100, so if you make the inverse operation, you're just moving the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So look here in the first example that we had, half, and it's equal to 0.5 if you would change it into decimal form. So if you just move the decimal point 2 steps to the right, so it's going to be 50, and put the sign percent. So it's going to be 50%. Again, let's get back to the first example. Look here, 50%, it's equal to 50 over 100. So I'm dividing this 50 by 100. And if you divide it by 100, you're moving the decimal point to the left 2 spaces, 1, 2, and put the point. So it's going to be 0.5. So that 0.5 it's equal to 50%. Okay, let's have another one. It's 0.25. I need to change it into percentage. So it's very easy. You're just moving the decimal point 2 steps to the right. 1, 2. So it's going to be 25 and put the percentage sign, which is percent. So it's going to be 25%. And get back again to the second example here. 25%, it's equal to 25 over 100. And it's simplified to be 1 over 4. Or here, you can change this fraction into decimal. So it's going to be 0.25. And if you don't remember that, just watch the previous videos. Okay, let's have another example. 0.75. To change it into percentage, you have to move the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So it's going to be 75%. And the last one here, 0.8, I have to move the decimal point 2 steps to the right. It's going to be 80%. Yes. So this is percentage, and this is how you can find percentage in our life, or how to change it into to change percentage into fraction or decimal, and vice versa. Okay, let's have something else. Here in the previous questions, you found out that all the denominator is 10 or 100. So what if we have something like half like that? if I want to change this into percentage, how can we deal with that? We actually using the best friends that we had before together. So best friend of the denominator 2, it's 5. So if you multiply down and up by 5, so it's going to be 5 over 10. And again, you change it right now to be a denominator 10. So add a 0 down and up. So it's going to be 50 over 100, which equals to 50%. Or you can change it into decimal as I did here. And it's going to be 0.5 and then move the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So it's going to be 50%. So see, it's very easy. Okay, another one. 1 over 4. What's the best friend of 4? So the best friend of 4 is 25. So I have to multiply down and up by 25. So it's going to be 25 over 100. So the answer is 25% because the denominator is already 100. Or you change it into decimal like that and move the decimal point 2 steps to the right. So it's going to be 25% again. Okay, last one here. It's 1 over 8. 1 over 8 is just a multiply by the best friend of 8, which is 125, down and up. So the answer is going to be 125 over 1000. Over 1000, I needed only 100, so I'm just removing the 0 or just dividing by 10 up and down to make it 12.5 over 100. So the answer is going to be 12.5%. Or to change it into decimal form like that, it's going to be 0.125 and then move the decimal point 2 steps to the right, so it's going to be 12.5%. Okay, let's have our classwork, guys. I need you to pause this video to just to solve to solve these 6 questions and then come back to me after 5 minutes. Okay, here let's start. Express as percentage. 7 out of 100. So of course it's very easy. It's 7 over 100, which means 7%. And 17 out of 100, it's going to be 17 over 100, which equals to 17%. And here 23 out of 100, which equals to 23 over 100, which equals to 23%. Okay, here it's 8 out of 100, so it's 8%. Or you can simplify it 2 over 25, but still you have to write down 8%. You have to write down the percentage sign. Okay, that's the fifth question. It's 15 over 100, which equals to 15%. So you have, if you want to simplify, you can simplify as a fraction, but at the end again, you have to write it down as a percentage. So you have to write it down 15%. And 75%, 75 over 100, it means 75%. Or you can simplify it into like fraction. In the fraction form, it's going to be 3 over 4. But again, and I will say it the last time, I'm sorry, you have to write down the percent. So it's going to be 75%. Okay, let's have another type of classwork. I need you to think about this question. What percentage of whole is shaded? So I need you to think about it. Just pause this video for 2 minutes and solve it, and then come back to me. Okay, here we call it here as math teacher, it's 100 chart. So here, if you count the number of the squares inside the smallest squares, you will find it's 100. Or if you remember when we talked about the area of anything, of like a square or rectangle, you can count the number of squares in a side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and count the other side. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then multiply them together, so it's going to be 100. So the denominator is 100. So let's count the shaded squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and every one of them here is 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. So it's going to be 36 over 100, which equals to 36%. Okay? Okay, let's have another classwork. So pause this video for 5 minutes and just solve these questions and then come back to me. Okay, let's start here. Here to compare these, for example, he said in this question, use equal sign, greater than or less than to make the statements correct. So first I have to make them the same. So if this fraction, I need to change it into percentage or this percentage into fraction and compare them together. So I just chose to just change the percentage into fraction. So 70%, it means 70 over 100. And here it's 70 over 100, so they are equal. Okay, question number B. Here I have half and 45%. I need to compare them. So either to change this 45% into a fraction or to change the fraction into percentage. So I just chose to change the fraction into percentage. So here it's half. I need to multiply by the best friend of the denominator, which is 2. So 2 times 5 up and down, so it's gonna be 5 over 10, and add 0 up and down, so it's gonna be 50 over 100, which equals to 50%. So this half, it's equal to 50%, and this is 45%. What do you think? Which is greater? Yes, the half is greater, of course. Okay, let's go for question number C. It's a little bit tricky. Here it's 1%, and here it's 5 over 5. So let me tell you something important. Here, the 5 over 5, it means 100%. What? How? If you simplify that, it's 1. So let's think about it. Here, 5 over 5, it means if I multiply it by 2 up and 2 down, it's gonna be 10 over 10. And if you added 0 up and down, so it's gonna be 100 over 100. And as I told you before, that when the denominator is 100, you can change it easily into percentage. So the numerator is 100, so it's 100%. So this 5 over 5 is 100%, and this 1%, it's 1%. Like, which is greater, 100% or 1%? Of course, it's 100%. So here, let's go to the last question here. So here I have 12% and 0.2, so I prefer to change this decimal into percentage. So I'm just moving the decimal point 2 steps to the right, so it's going to be 20%, or to change it into fraction like that and add a 0 down and up, so it's going to be 20 over 100, so it's going to be equal to 20%. So which is greater, 20% or 12%? Of course it's 20%. That's it. Okay, guys, this is for this session. I need you to solve sheet on Google Classroom. Thank you very much for listening and have a nice day.